Hello guys, here's Graffiti. In this new tutorial, I will show you how to create a cool Instagram clothes shop animation with After Effects. Very easy and simple professional techniques. So without further ado, let's get started. Here we're on After Effects. We'll create a new composition 1080 by 1920. Click here to save this composition preset. I will rename it Instagram Comp or whatever you like and press OK. Now you can easily find this preset here. Alright, rename this comp Final Comp and press OK. Create another composition with the same settings. Rename it Instagram Comp with the size comp and press OK. Drag the second comp and lock it. In this comp, we'll create a solid layer and rename it Background. You can copy the color code of my solid if you want. And press OK. Double-click on the rectangle tool to create a shape and rename it Liquid Up. Press R, rotate the shape. And displace it at the top left. Okay, now add a fill effect to easily change its color. We will go for a white color. Add another effect called Turbulence Displace. Put it at the top and change Turbulent to Turbulent Smoother. Change the size to 300. Alright, on Offset Turbulent, you will change it to 170. Click now on the clock watch and put your time ruler to 16 seconds. Enable the next keyframe and change this value to 10,000. Now you will have something like this. Look at how it moves. Okay, now select and duplicate this layer. Drag the layer down and try to adjust it like for the previous one. I've decided to rename it Liquid Down and change its color to black. Great! Now we will take our text tool and we will type clothes. I will make it a little bit bold. I will choose semi-bold. And click here to add a little bold on it. Okay, now select the text and pre-compose it. Rename it Text1 and press OK. Double-click on the comp and go to the comp setting to change its width to 5500 and height 550. Select the text and scale it to 250. Go to the Align panel to align the text. Okay, now create a null object and rename it Position. Now parent the text to the null object. Why am I doing that? Because I don't want to directly animate the text or even directly touching the text. It would be more easier for anyone to change the text without directly affecting the keyframes. Okay, now enable the position keyframes and animate the position from the bottom to the top. I think that here will be perfect. Yeah, cool. Now reverse their keyframes, ease them, and go on the graph to adjust them. Now for the opacity, enable first keyframe at the beginning and second at 10 millisecond. And on the first keyframe, drag down the opacity to 0. You will have something like this. Okay, now let's click here and change its color to red. Also reduce its scale to 20%. We will add a fill effect and change its color to black. Let's reposition this text here. I think it's fine here. Make a right-click and go on to Reveal and select Reveal Layer in Project. You will directly find this text layer. Go on Edit and duplicate the text. Drag it to the composition and resize it. We will do the same thing and add a fill effect and turn it to black. Select the text below and copy a position and paste it on the above text. Hold Shift while dragging the text. Double-click on the text comp, and you can easily rename this text. Let us type shop. Hold Ctrl and double-click on the anchor point tool to center text anchor point. Now align the text. You see how easily the text has changed and is maintained as animation. Now guys, I will just repeat what I've done previously. Select the three text and skip 5 frames. I will zoom in so that you should have a better look. Go now on Edit and split the layers. Select from the bottom to the top the 3 layers. Right-click, Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers. Please take note. When you're doing this step, please don't touch your time ruler or it would not work. You can expand the layers as much as you want. Well, after every text arranged, let's get a look. Very good. Now let us copy this background and this liquid layer. After that, create a new composition and rename it Clothes Comp 1. On the preset, you can go down and select our Instagram preset we saved before and press OK. We will close these comps for now. Let's go on to Edit and paste our layers. Drag the background down, and we will hide these layers for now. Create now another composition and rename it Liquid Transition. Double-click on the rectangle tool and rename it Liquid Down. Go on to the Effects Control panel. We will add some effects here. Go on to the Clothes comp. Select Liquid Up and copy these 2 effects. Go back to our comp and paste it here. Now press S and change the scale to 110%. Click here to dissociate them and change this value to 70%. After that, we will add a drop shadow. Change its opacity to 40% and its direction to 190%, and also softness to 400%. Click here to toggle the transparency of the comp. Okay, now you can clearly see the drop shadow just right here. Now select the layer and duplicate it. Drag the layer up and delete the drop shadow. Now reposition the layer so that the animation should be seamless. Okay, now rename the layer Liquid Up. Create now a null object and rename it Position. Select the 2 liquid layer and parent them to the null. Select the null, press P to show the position. Put the first keyframe at the beginning and the second at 2 seconds. Drag now the null up. Go on here and make a right-click, Keyframe Assistant, Time Reverse. Go now to the last keyframe and drag the null down again at a certain point to leave some space for the other elements. Okay, now you should have something like this. Select both keyframes and easy ease them. Go onto the graph and edit the speed. You should now get something like this. Great! Go back to the Close comp, and on the Project panel, you will drag the liquid transition to the composition. I will change a color so that I shouldn't be confused. We will first push these layers and look at the exact point where the layers will be revealed. Toggle the transparency and drag the layers to the exact point of the time ruler. Reveal the two shapes and get a look. Click here and change its color to black. Quick pause. Before we dive back into the tutorial, let us give a big shout out to our collaborator, Dehancer. Their plugins make it super easy to achieve stunning film-like color grading in your videos. And for all you photographers, Dehancer Online is an incredible web-based photo editor that brings those same cinematic vibes to your photos. Plus, here's something special. By using my promo code GRAPHICODE for 10% off on any of your Dehancer purchase, you'll also have a chance to win a lifetime Dehancer license. If you're enjoying the content and want more, check out my Ko-fi and my Patreon, Graffiti, for exclusive After Effects templates. Links are in the description below. Now, back to the tutorial. Okay, now, we will perfectly see the results. We will a little bit drag this down because I think it is a little bit too up. Okay, now, select this comp and put a keyframe to the position at the beginning, and the next keyframe at 1 second 10. At this point, we will just drag up the liquid to create the animation. Select both keyframes and easy ease them. Go to the graph and edit the speed. Now we will get something like this. Go now to the Project panel and duplicate the text layer. Drag it to the comp and change the scale to 25%. Drag the text and put it down here. Go on to the Effects Control panel and add a fill effect. Change its color to black and drag up the text layer. You can a little reposition it. Double-click on the text and rename it Fantastic. Double-click on the anchor point tool, to center the anchor and align the text on the middle. Make a right-click and reveal the layer on the Projects panel. Duplicate the text layer and drag it to the comp. At this point, we will just repeat what we've done previously. So I'll speed up this part. Okay, here we are. Everything is well set up. Let us get a look. Alright, now let us go to the project panel and drag down our image to the composition. Go onto Layer and pre-compose this image. Select Move All Attributes and rename it Pick One. Double-click and resize the image so that it should fit the comp. Okay, that's pretty well now. Drag the pick layer down. It's cool, but it seems a little bit big. Try just like me to adjust it as you need. Alright, it's good here. Drag the pick layer to the same point of the liquid layer. Right-click, create a null object. Drag it and put it at this point. Rename the null position. Enable the first keyframe and put it right here. And for the second one, put it just here so that they should have the same duration. Select both of them and put them at the beginning. Drag down the null to create our animation. Select both keyframes and easy ease them. Go to the graph and adjust the speed. Okay, it will be something like this. Take the null and drag it up. Select the three text and see at which point they will appear. Okay, at this point, we will jump 5 frames. Select the text layers and split them. Select again the layers from the bottom to the top. Make a right-click, Keyframe Assistant, and Sequence Layers, and expand the layers. You will now get something like this. Okay, now on this part, we will put just down here the size of the clothes. Take now the text tool and type XS. Put a fill effect and change it color to black. You can go on the character panel and change it font style to semi-bold. Hold Ctrl and double-click on the anchor point tool to center the anchor point. Drag the text at the same level of the text below. Duplicate the text 4 times and nage the text to each of your desired clothes size. Okay, now grab the rectangle tool and create a shape behind the text. Rename the shape XS shape and add a fill effect. Change the color to a type of light pink. And press OK. Go on the Contents options and add round corners on the shape. Change the radius to 29. For the text, change the scale value to 70%. Okay, on this part, it pretty simply. I will just duplicate this shape and put them behind our text. Alright, everything is well set up. I will select each text and parent them to each of their below shape layer. I will rename every shape so that everything is well organized and clear. Select now every shape layer and change their scale to 65%. I'm just trying now to a little bit organized. Okay, perfect. Everything is perfect. Select all these layers and pre-compose them. Rename it Size Comp and press OK. I will put it at the same point of the other layers. Double-click and select all the layers. Put them at the beginning to avoid empty space. Now go on the comp settings and change the width to 850 and the height to 230 and press OK. OK, now drag down the screen comp to take our layers. Hold Shift while dragging them up. We have now everything well set up. We will now go back to our clothes comp. Adjust the size comp as you like. I think it is perfect here. Press P for the position and enable the keyframes. Put them at the exact point of the keyframes below you're actually seeing. And drag them back to the beginning of the comp. On the first keyframe, drag up the position of the comp. Easy ease the keyframes and adjust the graph. Now you will have something like this. Press T for opacity and enable the first keyframe. Skip 10 frames and add another keyframe. Go back to the first keyframe and put it at 0%. It should look like this. Okay, now, select the rectangle shape and create a mask on the comp. Duplicate now the comp and reposition the mask so that it should show the other letters. We will do this for the next 2 letters. Okay, now when you're done, you can change the color of the comp to fuchsia so that everything is well organized. Go back at the beginning of the comp. Jump 5 frames and split the layers. Select from the bottom to the top the layers. Make a right-click. Keyframe Assistance, Sequence Layers. This will create a gap of 5 frames between each layers. Okay, now here's the result. It's pretty cool, right? Let us go back to our Instagram comp. On the project panel, you will drag down the clothes comp to our timeline. We will put it at the same point of our time ruler. Create now an Add Submit layer and rename it Marker. This marker will help us to align our layers on this specific position and other specific positions. Let us get a small look. At this point, I will duplicate the marker and put it here. On the project panel, you will find our clothes comp. Duplicate it and drag it to the timeline at the same point of the marker. As you see, this will reveal the next comp. And if you double-click and want to change this image, you can first easily find it by revealing the comp on the project panel. Duplicate it and drag it at the same point of the below layer. Now double-click and you can easily change the picture. Try to adjust it as you like. Now for this comp. You will parent it to the null object above. But please guys, before parenting, put first your time ruler after the null object keyframes as you see. Now you can parent the pick comp to the null. It will be something like this now. Great. For the text and the other layers, you just have to repeat what we've done previously with the picture. Now we will have a last preview on our animation. That's the ending, guys. Thanks for watching. It was a pleasure as always. I hope this tutorial helped you and you learned something new. If you appreciate this tutorial, consider by supporting this channel by giving a like. You can also share this video and don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming tutorials. It was Graffiti. See you on the next tutorial.